Welcome to Team of the Week 3. Today we're going to be having players from the Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, even the Brasileiro are involved today, so hopefully it should be a good one. But as always, I pick my 11 players on the screen here to go into our spreadsheet over 38 weeks to get our overall team of the season at the end. But also, for every point that these guys get, I give you guys the chance to pick 3 honorable mentions every week. So last week, I read all the comments. As you know, I interact a lot with you guys. So if that ain't a reason to subscribe and get us on the road to that 100k plaque behind me, then I don't know what is. But the 3 shouts from last week were Nico Paz against Lazio. Fully hear that one. Completely makes sense. Likewise, Kenan Yildiz as well. Balled out last week. And one that I had no idea about, but it turns out he played really well, is Layuni. He got 5 assists for Hacken in the Conference League playoffs. So fair play to him. Those are our 3 shouts. They'll be added to our spreadsheet. So again, keep on liking, keep on commenting honorable mentions. If your guys don't make it, I'm sorry. Only 11 can make it. And in goal, I think there's only one place we could possibly start, right? It has to go to Neves Joan Garcia, whatever you want to call him. He is our goalkeeper for today. This one, undisputed, genuinely. To go away Rayo Vallecano, I'm not going to say it's the easiest game in the world, but guys, Barca were on ropes. They were suffering, and he was saving them. But with a right hand, I saw guys complaining last week about certain people having strong hands and weak hands. Bro, you're a goalkeeper. This guy don't have none of that, bro. And look, again, I'm going to repeat it until people say, you know what, Fairs, you might be right. Because I'm still, even today, being shouted at because in yesterday's video, I said he's definitely better than David Raya. I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to see it. Maybe it's because he wasn't at a big team last season. But come Champions League, it's going to become a well-renowned opinion that by the end of this season, he's a top 3 keeper in the world. This guy, he's phenomenal, bro. On the flip side, someone that I've got to give flowers to, that I'm an honest man, right? When I get things right, I'll tell you. When I say something wrong, I'll tell you as well. I'm not going to be stubborn and try to act like I was always correct. So right back, we're going to be going with, it's a man, I can't even call him SpongeBob anymore. He is, for now, for the time being, Szobo, right? I've said, last season, the season before that, he was meant to be a 10. He had no creative bag. He was meaty. He was spamming the long shots, etc., etc. It turns out the long shot spam finally paid off yesterday because he banged in a free kick from like 32 yards out to win the game for Liverpool. But also playing at right back. Listen, clamped up Martinelli. Again, some may argue, is that the hardest thing in the world right now? Maybe not, but you're not a right back. So to play right back and be that calm there, great. And also, I mentioned in the first couple games that he thought he was Pirlo or Trent spamming diagonals to advertising boards. Well, this time it was the opposite. He was playing those Trent passes, and in all fairness to him, they were all connecting. So you cannot say anything bad about his performance today. And that's how you know. Again, here, I don't care if I've not rated you in the past or I did rate you. I just say it as I see it. No fan should be angry at me or start shouting at me. I just say what I see. So the only thing I don't understand though, as I repeat, don't be asking me to apologize for someone doing their job. Like him balling out at right back does not mean that he was some super elite player last year. But I don't want to make it about any of that. This is team of the week, and this week he was class against Arsenal. Won the game 1-0, clean sheet. You can't really ask for much else. At centre back, it is someone who might partner him next week, huh? If the rumors are to be true, again, it's currently deadline day, so we don't know what's gonna happen yet. We're still seeing a couple deals go over the line. But Crystal Palace captain Marc Guéhi, goodness me, obviously a clean sheet away Villa already to win 3-0. Fair play, phenomenal performance. But then to add on to that, this guy whipped in a banger, top bins that you'd expect to see from their previous talisman in Eberechi Eze. Whipping that top corner, bro. I said, huh? Is that Marc Guéhi? Is that the same Bizzo in goal that Unai Emery kept saying? Bisot. Marc Guéhi said, you know what? I don't care, bro. He did a knee slide. I don't know if that's going to be his final ever game for Palace, but if it is, what a way to go out. And big respect to him for still giving it 100% till the end, unlike other players who they're going on strike and they're crying and whatnot. The centre-back partner in him, I'm going to be real, I don't know if he's even on the website because he plays for Grimsby Town. Oh, they are on the game. Here we go. Warren of Grimsby Town for completely locking up a certain striker, a certain 6'6" striker, goes by the name of Benjamin Sesko. Wow. This Warren, forget even his goal. I mean, we're going to mention his goal, but anytime Sesko got anywhere near the ball, whether it be an aerial duel, whether it be a pass into feet, a run in behind, Warren was there first every single time. And then to make matters worse, he went and scored the goal as well. He is a former United Academy player as well, so big respect to him. That must have been an incredible night for him to dunk on his former team like that. I do want to say, in terms of like honorable mentions that you guys maybe start thinking of as well, or you may have completely different opinions, I believe all the centre-backs from the Arsenal-Liverpool game have a good case to be here. I know there was a lot of talk about like both teams were negative or whatever. I felt as though all the CBs were incredible, right? Van Dijk was class, Konate was back to his best, but then likewise for Arsenal, I know they lost 1-0, but Gabriel was phenomenal, and Mosquera in particular was really close to making it in here, because he came on minute 2 for Saliba. And you know Anfield, like when they're rocking, the crowd can swallow you up. That's a massive pause, but you know what I'm saying. Mosquera dealt with it calmly, he was driving forward, so I want to say shout out to all 4 of those. Maybe one of those might make your team, I don't know. Left back. This is someone who, on his debut, impressed, but didn't quite make the team of the week. But this time, he's getting in. It is Truffert of Bournemouth. Completely solid against Spurs. To the point where I've been gassing up Kudus. It was a quiet game from him because Truffert at left back was phenomenal. And again, I don't know how much you want to credit it to Iraola. I was not overly familiar with Truffert when he was at Rennes. So I don't know if this is like his regular level, but if this is how he plays week in, week out, then, hey, maybe they're not going to miss Kerkers much after all, because he was really good. And going forward as well, I'm not going to say deliveries as clean as Kerkers, because last year, Milos was putting in some crazy daggers, but he looks to be very composed there, so fair play to him. That's our back 5. Again, you may have different opinions, you know, let me know. It's all about conversation on here. I'm not the sole proprietor of the correct answers. I'm just giving you my opinion. Midfield 3. Unlike last week where we had too many attacking midfielders, now is the opposite. I've got a lot of defensive-minded players because my first midfielder, or the most deepest, if you will, is going to be Tchouaméni of Real Madrid. I think he was phenomenal. I think last year he was, I'm sure he will say himself, a bit of a shadow of what he's known to be previously in the year before and the year before that, and even just since he arrived at Real Madrid. But in this game, the way he was winning every ball, and then boom, immediately, first thought, get it forward. Get the ball to an Mbappe, get it to a Vini, to a Arda, whoever it may be, and let the attackers do their thing. So, Tchouaméni, rubber stamped in this team, big respect to him. But as I said, we got a few players who you could argue are defensive-minded. I'm going to go with like a DM, but then 2 centre mids. We're not going to have any 10s this week. If you can think of any, by all means, they can make the bench and try and win us the game. But our captain for this team of the week, João Neves. This guy scored a hat-trick from centre mid, bro. What on earth? And not just any old hat-trick. It is not a couple penalties and a tap-in. This is debatably the greatest hat-trick ever. Now, I said it on Twitter, and obviously people mentioned a certain someone who, by the way, was busy spitting and abusing opposition players because he couldn't handle losing to Seattle Sounders. I'm not going to comment who that is, but would João Neves ever spit on a player? I don't think so, because he's a very respectful young man. Double overhead kicks within 15 minutes. And to complete the hat-trick, he bangs it from 25 yards. Now, when I say greatest, look, obviously, let's not forget about Jeff Hurst for England in the World Cup final 1966, for those of us who remember. But that was a bigger occasion, right? So, of course, a World Cup final, it means more than your average League One game. But I'm talking purely on the quality of goals. It's between João Neves and I'd say Rivaldo 2001, Bergkamp 97. Those 3 are probably up there. Again, if you can think of any better hat-tricks, let me know. And vice versa, if you can think of the worst ones ever, let me know, because I got one in mind already. It's Dirk Kuyt from, I think it was a total of 7 yards against United back in the day. It was like 4 yards, 2 yards, and 1 yard. But then last season, there was one as well. Somebody timestamped this and let me know in the comments. And there was a hat-trick last season where we called it one of the worst ever. Or was it Jackson v Spurs? Because he missed like 58 chances as well. And speaking of Jackson, we got to do a video. Tonight, I think, or tomorrow morning, I'll do a video on deadline day all the big deals, because obviously we've got the Isaac Bombasso, Jackson, is he staying or going, Hincapi, all over the gaff, Mark Gahey and whatnot. So again, subscribe, because I'm getting you guys as much content as physically possible, but I'm only one human being. I'm the editor, I'm the guy that is putting the graphics on the screen, I'm the guy doing everything, so please bear with me. But again, completing the midfield, we go to the Serie A, and we are going to Zambo Anguissa, the match winner for Napoli this week against Cagliari. Obviously, I mentioned it in the previous couple videos where McTominay, or Diego Armando McTominay, got the winner last time for them to win the league. This time, McTominay missed a couple chances, an overhead kick. He probably would be, I felt hard done by. But the second one in the box where he had to finish it, I thought, ooh, Conte, it's not looking good already. Dropping points, but then Anguissa arrived, and genuinely the reason why he's in, again, it's not just about who scores the most goals or blah blah blah, because as I said, Tchouameni did not score, but he was great. But the composure from Anguissa to just slot it home when a lot of players would snatch at it, lean back, and boom, it's out the stadium into the river in Naples. Or no, it's not a river. Is it the sea? Is it the ocean? No, it's not the ocean. You know what I'm talking about, man. Whatever that is, that little beach line there, I think it's the sea. I don't know what it is, but big ups to Anguissa, another one who got quite a few team of the weeks last season, so he's back here again. Now onto the front three, the front three rather. We're gonna start at right wing. I think we're gonna start at right wing because this one was a bit tricky for me. I'll be honest. I had a lot of left wing options and not many on the right. I considered Brooks, because obviously we had the whole conversation about Jed Spence saying, bring me your favourite winger, I'll lock him up. And then immediately afterwards, you know, he got packed in by Bournemouth. But it wasn't really like a Brooks masterclass, so I'm not going to use him there. I'm going to go with Akliouche of Monaco. They did play Strasbourg on the weekend. A goal, an assist in the dying minutes as well to win the game. So again, fair play to him. On the left is where I had difficulties, but as I said, it's a world team of the week. I don't want to keep it just specifically top 5 leagues or the big European leagues. So we're flying all the way to Brazil. We're going to Flamengo because Samuel Lino, in an 8-0 win, got 5 goal contributions, 2 goals, 3 assists for him this week. Obviously, that game was on a Tuesday, but as always, you guys know, Monday to Sunday, that's what counts as team of the week. So any games that were played in this time all contribute. That's why if you're thinking of Mbeumo, the Grimsby game happened this week at right wing, so Mbeumo is not going to be getting in a team of the week for that. But yeah, Samuel Lino, big up to him. Also shout out to Grealish. I reckon he'll get a lot of mentions in the comments in terms of your top 3 subs, if you will, because I'm seeing Everton fans saying, there was a tweet I saw here from an Everton fan. I forget word for word what it said, but it was on the lines of something like, listen, just pay, or if I won the lottery for 50 million, I would pay Man City the 50 M's for Grealish and go back to being like a bricklayer or whatever trade he was doing. So fair enough, he's racking up a lot of assists, you know, playing back-to-back games. Unlucky to miss out, but I just felt like I had to show love to the Brazilian league. And up front, there was nobody really on fire this week. You know, you've got Kane bringing a couple assists. You've got, I guess, Haaland scored. Mbappe done really, really well, but I guess without the goal, I can't really put him in. So I've gone a player who still, to this day, is being underrated by the masses. Guirassy of Dortmund, bagged the brace. Again, it is deadline day, and I'm not seeing any links to him. I don't know why everyone is saying, oh, he's so old, it's too late, he's rubbed now. Guys, we just found out about him like the year before Dortmund, right? So 2 years ago, maybe, when he started bagging bare goals in Bundesliga. So to say that he's rubbed or he's finished when he's performing like this week in, week out, I don't really understand why no one's linked with him. Because I'm going to put it out there, bro. He's better than the strikers that Arsenal and United have just signed this summer and went and spent 70, 65 M's on. He's better than them both. But alas, Dortmund fans must be happy that he's staying there. So that is our team for the week. And of course, as always, I got to give you guys a cheeky little manager as well. Let's get these guys flying forward so that, you know, our team can attack a little bit, because it's definitely a more defensive team this time. So we'll go over a manager who went and coached his team away from home to score 7 goals. That is Bruno Genesio, however you pronounce it. His nickname is Pep, funnily enough. He won 7-1. I would have gone for the Grimsby coach, but they lost on the weekend 1-0. So big ups for beating United. But clearly, we're not rating United because you go back to your League 2 and you start losing again. So yeah, he cannot be there. But honourable mention, as per usual, guys, let me know your honourable mentions. Try to pick 3 names, 4, 5, however many you want. I'll pick the 3 with the most comments. And again, I would appreciate if you man keep the subscriptions coming because we are on that road to 100k. And don't forget, Monday around 4 to 5 p.m, half 4, I do the Match of the Day streams where we go through all the top 5 league highlights, we watch all the goals and discuss who played well, who played bad, etc, etc. So follow on Twitch. It's the same name as on TikTok, as on YouTube, everywhere else. So yeah, have a great week and I'll see you guys either tonight for deadline day or tomorrow in a bit. Bosh.